Good morning, everybody. That car guy Eddie here, and today another video. Today is the 10,000 mile review of my Toyota Camry. Now, this has came way faster than I had ever thought that it would come, and it's because I'm commuting regularly on a daily basis. So, with that being said, if you're brand new to the channel and you've never seen it, definitely, if you do like the content, consider subscribing and smash the like button if you have a hybrid. So, I did a review on my Camry when I hit 5,000 miles, and I talked a lot about my initial impressions of the car, and gosh, that was like a month and a half ago, 2 months ago. So I've really put a lot of miles on my car. In fact, I've put just over, it's 10,065 right now, I've put just over 10,000 miles on the car in 4 months, which is a lot of driving. I'm not a Lyft driver, not an Uber driver. I just live in an area that is far from my work, and I commute daily, so I have to have a hybrid. And I'm gonna give you my thoughts on it and my likes and dislikes about the particular package that I have, because I think I've had enough time with it. So, right into the video. First of all, I have the mid-grade SE trim. I do have some options on mine. I do have the sunroof as an option, and then the paint, I have the deep blue, or deep black mica, I believe. It's like black, but it does have some blue flake in it. It's got some really nice wheels on it. I think they're 18s, but they're not hubcaps, they're like black wheels. The car looks really good. In fact, I will insert a picture here. There you go. That's what the car looks like. So the car does look pretty good. It is, gosh, lifetime gas mileage, because that's probably why you're here. So over the course of 10,000 miles, with the majority of my miles freeway driven, okay, you got to remember, I probably drive 75 to 85% of the time on the freeway. My lifetime average miles per gallon is 38.3, which is not the best. You know, when you buy a hybrid, you buy a hybrid for around town fuel. You don't buy a hybrid for on the freeway. If you want good freeway gas mileage, you buy a diesel. You don't necessarily buy a hybrid. And the reason why is because you're not in, it's not running in electric when it's on the freeway. It's running with the gas motor on and the electric assist simultaneously. My average speed in this thing, well, I'll just tell you right now, my average speed after start, according to my trip data computer here, is actually about 68 miles an hour. So right now I'm cruising along just a little bit under 70, and it is getting roughly, right now, this moment, about 37 to 38, according to my trip data computer. And that's pretty normal. You know, I saw a video that said Toyota Camry 52 miles to the gallon, and I was like, whoa, how the heck do you get 52 miles to the gallon if I'm barely getting 38 miles to the gallon? And really what it is, it's driving habits. If I slow down from 70 to 62, the car will get about 50 miles to the gallon. It will. You will be the bane of everyone's existence on the freeway. You will get where you want to be much slower, but you will get much better fuel mileage. And you know what? Sometimes in a hybrid, that's really what matters than anything, is just driving somewhere and getting maximum fuel mileage. But like I said, I didn't buy this for maximum fuel mileage. I bought it because I wanted good fuel mileage, and I wanted something that A, wasn't a Prius, and B, was comfortable to drive. So let's get over to the comfort and the ergonomics. First of all, for one person, this car is super comfortable. In fact, even two people, this car is super comfortable. I am 6'2", about 280 pounds, and I fit in this car incredibly well. The seats are really good. It does have the black seats with like an inlay. Here, I'll show you. It does have the black seats with like an inlay on it, and the seats are actually really nice. What I tell everybody about the seats specifically is they're not leather. They're like this weird leatherette. I don't know. It's this weird thing that car manufacturers are doing. It's like a weird leatherette material, but it's good enough. It's not cloth. I don't like cloth seats, so I do like the feeling of it. In retrospect to the seats, my car doesn't have seat heaters, and that's one of the things that I really wish that it did have, that it was optioned with, is seat heaters, because it doesn't have it. It does have a wireless charging pad. Let's talk about the wireless charging pad for a second. So underneath the center console, right below my HVAC controls, and in front of the shifter is a cubby hole that has a wireless charging pad. The problem is that unless your phone is right in the middle of the wireless charging pad, it doesn't wirelessly charge. So the moment that you drive this thing at all, you're going to mess up and it's going to slide off the charging pad, because the area is about this big and the charging pad is about this big. So if the phone slides around anywhere in there, it falls off the wireless charging pad and it stops wirelessly charging. And I don't like that. I think that that's a really bad design. I think that if you're gonna put a wireless charging pad in a car, your phone either has, I swear to God, here's the problem. Driving 40 miles each way, you run across the worst drivers on the planet. People are so buried into some other crap that they're doing that they're just not paying attention. And we'll get to that in just a second, as I was almost just sideswiped. Gosh. Anyways, where was I? Wireless charging pad. So yeah, if you're gonna put the wireless charging pad in, like, make the wireless charging pad the whole size of it, or make it so that there's some sort of an adjustment that I can slide in there to make my phone not slide off the wireless charging pad, Toyota. Come on. Storage is okay. You know, it does have a cubby hole in the middle, which is nice. It does have USB also over there by that wireless charging pad, and it does have Apple CarPlay, and it also has Android Auto in it as well. It's a little buggy, you know. Sometimes I've actually found that the system works better if you just run it off Bluetooth and you don't run Apple CarPlay or Android Audio. I don't know if it's Android Audio, but I will tell you that Apple CarPlay is a little buggy. It's just kind of wonky the way that it works. It doesn't know sometimes, like, when the car is turned on, if it's plugged in, like, where to switch. And if you're on a phone call and you get in your car and you try to put on Apple CarPlay, it, like, won't switch over. It's not that good. It's not. But if you're on Bluetooth, which is kind of the way that I just roll with Bluetooth and I just plug it in. There's also a USB-C connector in the center console, and that is where my iPhone plugs into, is my USB-C connector. That is not Apple CarPlay. So to get Apple CarPlay, you have to use a standard USB, which is located on the dash, and that charges super slow. That's probably like 0.5 amps. So if you're using it to charge your phone and to use Apple CarPlay, you'll probably end up losing actual charge on your battery, which kind of sucks. And if you use this middle one, which is the USB-C, which charges better, you don't get any of your Apple CarPlay features. So they can fix that if they included wireless Apple CarPlay, which I'm sure is something that's going to come down the line. In Toyota, it's probably going to take them 5 years to do it, but for what it's worth. Backseat space. So I do have 3 kids. The backseat space in this thing is not a whole lot, you know. It's a Camry, right? It's still a car, and it's weird because I know why driving the Camry 10,000 miles. I know why sedans are dying. I really do. Sedans just don't have the room and that an SUV does. And as you make bigger cars that are more fuel efficient, you're slowly killing off sedans because you want more room. The shape of the car isn't as big, and it doesn't hold as much. You know, a family of 4, when I put it in there, is, look at that work. A family of 4, when you put in there, is pretty tight. And if you try to put 5 in here, it just doesn't work at all with the car seat. So that's kind of a pain in the neck. Plus, the door in the back doesn't really open a lot to get a car seat in and out. You end up really close to the dash. One thing I super do love about the car, and I use it on a daily basis, is the cruise control. So the Toyota Sensing or Toyota Adaptive Cruise, or whatever the heck they want to call it, Super Cruise, I don't know what it is. The Toyota Safety System, maybe. It does include blind spot monitoring, which is great. Rear backup camera with cross traffic alert. It does include lane departure, as well as adaptive cruise with start stop, which is really great. I mean, I think every car should have all of those safety features. And the reason I think that it should have all of those safety features is it's to help people drive better, okay? It's not necessarily for me, it's for that lady who almost sideswiped me, who, you know, just driving like an idiot. it's much better just to have the safety features in. And trust me, I wasn't a big fan of, you know, auto cruise control the first time that I drove it or anything like that, but it's actually really, really good. It's great in the fog. It's great in the rain. I do like it. Now, am I going to keep the Camry? So if you follow the channel, you know that I go through cars a lot. And one of the things that the Camry does very well is it gets me to and from work. And you know, that's its primary purpose. Get me to and from work, comfortable, good gas mileage, and just blend in, right? Don't be anything too special that if I'm speeding, I would never do that. But if I'm speeding, cops aren't going to point out. And don't be something that's targeted to get stolen. And also be reliable. You know, if I'm putting 40,000 miles on this thing a year and I'm going to have this thing at least, you know, 4 years, it's a lot of miles. It's 200,000 miles on the car. It's got to work. And the great thing about Toyota is that they use technology that has been around for a long time. That's why this particular car, the Camry, is actually really good. And even the Prius is because they've perfected it. They're not consistently trying to come out with new crazy things to get even like half MPG, because what they'd rather do is put something that's reliable in the car and just make it more and more reliable. When you buy hybrid, it's great because it does run in hybrid mode a lot, and because of that, you're technically putting less miles on the motor. So when I tell people, hey, if you buy a turbocharged car, double the mileage on it, I say that if you buy a hybrid car, take 25% off the miles on it, and that's your real world miles. So that's your Eddie tip of the day. I will tell you that I'm looking at something that is going to be a little bit more practical, something with a little bit more space, maybe a bed. I'm very, very interested in the Ford Maverick hybrid. That is super cool. That way you can get a truck and you can get very, very similar gas mileage to the Camry. The problem with it is it is a Ford, so I would definitely want to buy the super extended warranty with it. Yeah, we'll see what ends up happening with the Maverick. But that's my 10,000 mile review. I hope you love your hybrid if you do have it. This is way cooler than a Prius. In fact, probably the thing that I like the most about the Camry is the fact that you don't know that it is a hybrid. So, for what it's worth. All right, I'll talk to you soon. Thanks a lot and ride hard.